Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt, and welcome back to Farlands or Bust. We've got a combination Wolfie bark spider squeal. What is it that spiders do? Well, spiders really don't make actual noises, so it's a false spider noise to start out episode 447 of Farlands or Bust. It's Monday, February 9th, 2015. I'm going to secure the end of the episode hide-a-hole. I'm going to secure the hide-a-hole. We're going to get rid of some of our junk from the hidey-hole and grab Wolfie. And as intended, we will continue east today. Walking east for Child's Play charity, and let me throw down some numbers for you. Right, cows. Let me lay down the business. Lay down the numbers. The last episode, Friday's episode, where we went out west. We built the elevated, suspended over a bridge archway hidey hole of westitude or whatever I called it, and then turned back and are now going east. At the beginning of that episode, we were at 45% of the way to our $50,000 goal for Child's Play charity this season. We were at $22,616. Before starting this episode, a mere 3 days later, just over a weekend, we are up to $27,126 raised for Child's Play charity, 54% of the way to our goal. Almost a whole 10% raised in response to this not disastrous, what is the word I keep forgetting? Diabolical. Ow, I just punched myself in the face. My diabolical plan to help us reach the Child's Play charity goal before March, perhaps in March, but before or around March 6th, which is the 4-year anniversary of starting this series, which was once known as Minecraft Adventures, but soon by episode 11 turned into Farlands or Bust, the journey to the Farlands. But this time, for now, we are heading east until we reach that goal, and then I will promptly do yet another switchback and start heading west again, and we will make more progress, and then we will make a lot of progress during the Flobathon celebration live stream. At the end of that, we'll press F3 to see how far we've gotten. Of course, that is all dependent on how long I will be walking east here. It still feels weird. I said at the end of the last episode, it just feels, I don't know, like, don't animals, like birds in particular, birds and certain migratory beasts of the wilds, have some sort of like internal compass, some sort of like little metallic fibers in their brain or something, where they can, even without the sun or the directional cues that are visual, they can still sense which way is north and south, and subsequently east and west. I feel like that has been thrown asunder here. It just feels weird. It's like wearing your underwear inside out. It's still there. It's just something is slightly off. I suppose a better analogy would be accidentally wearing your contact lenses inside out. I don't know how many of you wear contact lenses, but sometimes they can be inside out and they'll still go in your eye, but it's like, wait, this is wrong. Things are backwards. So you gotta squidge them out and pop them around and put them back in. I hope you're not kind of queasy around talk of eyeball touching. Eyeball touching. Oh man. But yeah, I'm very happy about the positive response to the last episode, and of course the very dramatic the best this season. Positive increase in Child's Play charity donations. Going to help get toys, books, games to kids in hospitals and shelters around the world, worldwide, as we have been for the past 3.5 years or so is when we started, back June of 2011 is when we started actually the fundraiser aspect of Our Lands or Bust. But that's amazing. And from all these donations, a lot of them first-time donors I'm seeing, which is exactly kind of one of the points, was to get first-time donations. Small, some very generous donations as well. But a lot of people saying, "Oh, this is my first time donating." You finally, this is the straw that broke the camel's back. No, this is the thing that got me to donate $5, $10, or whatever to Child's Play charity. So I do appreciate all those Farlanders for stepping up and helping out, and it's very exciting. It feels weird, like just something is amiss. But it also kind of reinvigorates me a bit, and I hope it obviously, based on the views and the, let's call it interactions, the community interactions on the last video, has certainly reinvigorated something else there for the viewership, so, it's also very exciting. But yeah, that's pretty cool, and like I was about to say and got sidetracked there, just all the donations and the support. I thought I had a lot of questions in the last episode. Boy, howdy do I. I've got like 4 or 5 pages here in my notepad of a whole bunch of questions, and I think that means while we're doing this, and while the interest is high, while the interest is high and the donations keep coming in, we're going to probably have all questions all the time in this, the next foreseeable future. Because we do have quite a few here, and quite a few I want to get to from people in particular who gave very big donations, and even all the way down to the little donations. I've got I've copied and pasted all the questions. So that's not really going to give me too much time to talk about the SpaceX launch. It was going to happen yesterday, Sunday. This is a satellite that's going to go out. Actually, it's beyond the moon. It is the first SpaceX rocket to deliver a payload outside of Earth's orbit. It's going to go into one of those Lagrange points closer to the sun than the Earth. So it's kind of like stuck there in a point co-orbiting the sun with Earth, I suppose. It's called the Discover satellite. But excuse me. It was going to launch on Sunday, but there were some technical issues. And then today there are weather issues, so it's been rescheduled for Tuesday. Tuesday, I think the time is going to be around 6 p.m. Eastern time. But once again, this is going to be an attempt at returning and landing that first stage on that barge, so a few milestones hopefully happening there. They hopefully fixed the issues where they ran out of hydraulic fluid during that first landing attempt, with that spectacularly did a barrel roll over the top of the landing pad. They added more of that hydraulic fuel, or fluid, excuse me. So hopefully everything will work there, and we'll not only have a pretty cool satellite launch to space, but a return of that first stage. So look forward to that. That's all I'm going to be able to talk about that. Today and yesterday, YouTube is completely broken. For those of you who may not have noticed, gotta keep looking up. Oh, this is actually somebody who suggested, for the first time, like ever, we can use the golden clock of destiny, because I can't see when the sun is setting like it is right now. So somebody suggested I should use the golden clock of destiny that I made back on episode 50. Yeah, that was the episode 50 milestone, as I went down and got the final piece of gold to make the golden clock of destiny. So we can actually have that on our bar and get some use out of that. But, excuse me. What was I saying? Yeah, the YouTube, the sub feeds. I mean, there's always been many rumors and millings about how the YouTube subscription feed, that is when you're on your homepage and you click on my subscriptions, you're supposed to get the videos from the channels you subscribe to in sequential order there. People are always saying that's broken depending on whatever viewership or the algorithms, or whatever, but this is literally broken, at least for me, and a lot of people are giving me feedback on Twitter that it is broken for them, in that I haven't gotten a new video posted there since one of Pyro's videos over 24 hours ago. And then I scroll down and you click load more videos, and then it loads in more videos that are more recent, but still not recent enough, like still with like a 2, 3, 4 hour delay. So I'm missing a lot of videos, and judging by my views on the videos that went up on Sunday and this morning, a lot of people are missing videos. So make sure to check the actual channels, or this is why I always recommend following your YouTube personalities on Twitter, because videos get posted there as well. But YouTube be broken. But we are going to go to sleep and continue walking east in the morning. And eastness. Ooh, hello sheep. How are you? Yes, I'm doing just fine myself, indeed. I can separate you from your wool if you don't mind, and we will continue on. I do need some wood as well. So that's, this is, and I know, like I've said, there's always problems with the sub box, I'm not seeing certain videos from this because I haven't watched them, or I've gotten magically unsubscribed from this person, but this is like an actual problem that I'm literally seeing, and it's tangible that, yes, this is not working as it should be intended. There's no speculation needed. Oh, hi, Creeper, how you doing? Want to come east with us too? He's pretty happy about it. So that's a problem. So keep that in mind if you have a YouTube account and you actually depend on your seeing your subscriptions show up in your sub feed. So that's not happening right now for a lot of people. Some people it might be working, but it seems like a lot of people it isn't. Also on Friday night, I did another live stream, a very impromptu last-minute thingy. I joined with Dr. Brian Lorgon 111, and we played Minecraft Bingo for like 2.5 hours. We didn't have a server set up, so we were just playing single-player Minecraft Bingo, racing against each other, and had some pretty good games there. I had a few games of sub 10-minute times to get Bingo. We were doing like seed challenges, so we would end up spawning with the same card and in the same spot on the world, and we would race to see who could get Bingo the fastest. And that first match, actually, we like got Bingo within seconds of each other as well. It was a nail-biting experience, so that was fun. I unfortunately couldn't, however, record that footage. Every time I attempted to simultaneously record and broadcast to Twitch, Minecraft crashed. So Brian posted up on his channel some highlights from that, so you can check that out. Also, like I said, if you follow me on Twitter, I'm pretty sure I retweeted that as well, or liked that video, so check that out. Be pretty cool. And yeah, that brings us up to speed, so let's get started getting through this long list of questions from donors. Of course, when you do donate to Child's Play charity at farlandsbus.com, there is a comment box with your donation, and whatever you type in there, I will be able to see. Also keep in mind that the donations by default through that Child's Play charity widget are anonymous for privacy reasons. Careful, Wolfie. And so if you do want me to say, oh, this question was from this person, then leave a little from, or leave your nickname or whatever you want to be known as in the comment, just to be sure. Or if not, it's totally fine to stay anonymous. But here we go. We've got just a quick comment, and this was actually echoed quite a few times from people who were donating. From Brian, not Dr. Brian, but this is a different Brian with there's actually a Y here. Brian with a Y instead of an I, says, "For the children," all caps, "you evil genius. Diabolical, you could say. Sometimes you need to go back to go forward. Put that on a t-shirt." Well, thank you very much, Brian, and everybody else for the kind words. And I even know Good mentioned it in his last, Mindcrack episode. He's doing, like I said, something a little bit similar, where he's, for every $500 that gets donated to Extra Life through his Extra Life campaign, he will come out with a new episode of Mindcrack. So kind of similar things here. And yeah, so that was very cool to hear that, of course. We have the biggest donation that we got in was from Quietust. Quietust, a very big, very generous donation. So I want to get to their question first. If it were possible for you to instantly visit any place in the solar system and study it up close, disregarding any difficulty and possibility of getting there, surviving, and returning, where would it be? Caverns beneath the surface of Mars? The oceans beneath the surface of Europa? Deep within the atmosphere of one of the gas giants? An even crazier or more mysterious place? Well, it appears as though we are confined to the solar system. So, Europa would be high up on that list. Not only for the fact that you could, you know, drill through the ice crust and make your way into the liquid ocean beneath the surface. That, you know, whoa, that once you get there might not be all that interesting visually or anything like that. I suppose if I had some sort of submarine, that would be pretty cool. Even walking along the surface, perhaps the cracks, the crags, the ice canyons and whatnot. But also, I'm sure the view from there would be amazing. Have the huge planet Jupiter absolutely filling the sky, pretty much, and then seeing the other perhaps moons orbiting in the distance at different times. Your Titan, or not Titan, Titan's in Saturn. Your Ganymede and other Galilean moons around Jupiter. Careful, Wolfie. Oh, no, wait. Yeah. No, okay, yeah, Europa's around Jupiter. I keep getting it confused with Enceladus, which is around Saturn, right? I don't know. There's these giant gas planets are so very greedy with how many moons they have. I can't keep them straight. But regardless, yeah, that would be pretty cool. That would be pretty cool. I don't think going into the gas planets would really be interesting because there's not really any solid ground to put your boots down and walk around and explore, and it's also probably extremely difficult to even see anything, like flying through clouds in an airplane. But just imagine that is all the planet is. So, yeah, probably not too much interest there. I mean, I suppose, you know, it's hard to say, but for scientific value, I suppose Europa would be right up there, as long as it doesn't go like the Europa Report. Make sure you see that movie. But, yeah, that probably wouldn't be ideal, but regardless, we could go with that. Ooh, check this place out. We are above the clouds. Speaking of the clouds and Jupiter and whatnot. A nice little view we've got here. So yeah, probably that. I mean, obviously probably the sentimental favorite would be Mars. I'd probably want to go, you know, well, they say you go to Mount Olympus and you wouldn't even be able to tell you're on a mountain because it's so huge. It's just like being on a continent or something. But the trench, the Mare something or other trench, which is like 10 times wider and deeper than the Grand Canyon. Just having been to the Grand Canyon and being so impressed with that, I can imagine, something being on a magnitude. Whoa, this is an active volcano, Wolfie. Woo. Hey, no, I say Wolfie. Wolfie, I say. The lands, they are growing. All right, have a seat. Neat. Well, clearly, my friends, we are way off course, and we are seeing brand new terrain. Some people were concerned that we would just be backtracking and seeing the same terrain over and over again, and clearly that is not the case, because this lava just spawned and rolled down here, and this stuff is burning. And it's a cobblestone generator, an automated cobblestone generator, sort of. Very dangerous to grab that cobblestone, but neat. Neat indeed. Actually, we should probably, and we could probably, have some picture time. Yes, there we go. Wolfie! There we go. Very nice. Very nice with the pictures. Let me do that with a shovel just in case. I don't want to actually whap you with the the diamond sword, excuse me, of spawn pointiness. But thank you very much, Quietist, for your very generous donation. Clearly somebody who wants me to be turning around and continuing west. And also that question, that thought-provoking question. I got an anonymous donation and a question kind of meta referencing the last episode. They asked, I was wondering if you expected the East Uproar, it's calling it the East Uproar, to be so large. Was that a calculated risk, or did you expect full support from your community? I don't know that I even considered. I didn't consider any sort of feedback. The feedback I had got, I mentioned it to the guys at PAX South, what I was intending on doing, especially after Good mentioned what he was planning on doing with his Mindcrack series. I'm like, you know what, I'm thinking of just turning around and going east. And pretty unanimously, Sevidus was very, he's like, he didn't even occur to him. He was like, whoa, you know, that's a great idea. And Good really liked it and got pretty good feedback from the guys at PAX South. You never know. It is kind of strange. I think maybe Good was more worried about negative feedback for his idea than I ever was for mine. So it's a little bit, you know, pretty, not unanimously, but pretty well received is Good series. Oh wait, whoa, we've gotten, okay, got a little bit turned around there. But I didn't really, I guess I didn't expect it on my end, but then again, I suppose things happen, and that's all right, but we are obviously continuing henceforth with our previously planned mission here, and it's certainly the feedback that I most cared about was quite obviously raising money for Child's Play charity, and that has certainly been a success thus far, so huzzah, hooray, and whatnot, and indeed, and etc., and going to sleep. And awakeness. The one thing I do regret, is that my phone's going off. I'll be right back with you. But the one thing I do regret is the fact that Big Dave, with his donation, said I should have named the little house on the archway, should have named it West Point. West Point! Are those sheep walking on top of each other? Oh no, he was just on a little mound there. West Point. Gah, why didn't I call it that? I don't even remember what I called it now. It was the Archway House of Westitude or something. But yeah, West Point. West Point. It's a very prestigious military encampment overlooking the Minecraft arches to the west. Not encampment. What is West Point? It's an academy. Academy is the word I was looking for. Oh man, West Point. Come on, get your naming hat back on. That's a much more marketable name. Here, I think you need some of that. Very nice. All right, continuing on. Woof. I suppose here we can use a boat. But perhaps if we end up, which it doesn't look like it, we're already in new terrain, but if we end up, after turning around, if we end up back at the Arch House, I will rename it West Point. Although, at that point, it will no longer be the furthest West Point, because we will be continuing beyond it. So yes, thank you very much for the donation there. Who said that? Big Dave! Big Dave! Let's see here. Another very generous donation from Shreds with Wheat. Shreds with Wheat. Not gluten-friendly. If you could fill your garage with any 5 cars, what would they be? Well, they'd have to be very skinny cars, because I only have a 2-car garage. So, the problem with that, but any 5 cars. That's rough. Especially given my current status of actually shopping for cars. I'm like really trying to like work out in my head. I'm like, okay, what if, you know, let's not get a crazy, you know, fun and practical car. Let's maybe just get like a super practical, small, cheap car for the daily driver, and then use the money we save to get like a fun car. But you know, that is just a heartache when you end up looking at the actual prices of things. So this is probably something that's been on my mind. I don't know. I really like the utility of a wagon. So while like a Subaru Outback is high on my list, I don't know, if I could have any 5 cars, I'd probably choose like a what's like a cool wagon, like an Audi makes like a wagon variant of the S4, doesn't it? Or a Volvo makes the Polestar version of their wagon. You know, a cool car like that, or the Subaru. Now, the one that if this was in America, it would have been no choice. I would have just bought this one. Subaru in Japan has a, what is it called? Blah, 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 blah. It's called the Levorg, or I'm sure I'm saying it wrong, but the Subaru Levorg, it's pretty much if an Outback and a WRX had a baby. It's basically, it's not a hatchback WRX like the previous generation. It's a full wagon-sized WRX, but you know, it's fast. It's pretty much the car enthusiast's dream, but it's only available in Japan, and they probably won't bring it to the US because they don't, you know, wagons themselves don't sell very well. Which is why they kind of market the Outback as a SUV. That would be, you know, if I could get over the import laws, I would very, very much want one of those as like the practical car. But then I'd like, you know, an older car, a 50s car, or even like a rat rod T-bucket or something like that that's been, you know, chopped and dropped and channeled and all that fun stuff, and you know, that would be kind of cool. But I would also want a performance car, so yes, probably like an F-Type or some sort of performance car that would be good to take into some sort of mountainous, curvy road and have a go there, or perhaps to the track. But yeah, I don't really have any sort of automotive allegiances like some people are. Aston Martins or they're, you know, like I was saying before, Jaguar. I'm not particularly into Jaguar for whatever reason. The F-Type, I really like the way it looks and seems as the F-Type, but or they're Chevy or Ford guys or whatever. So I'm not really. I don't have like a particular sequence of specific cars I would want, but you know, a good collection of that. That's probably a good collection of cars. I don't know if I named 5 or not, but yeah, let's go with that. A Tesla, you know, it'd be cool to have a Tesla. There's a lot of these videos showing up with the Tesla, the D variant of the car has an insane mode, and it's pretty much just all torque all the time, and it goes from like 0 to 60 in 2.9 seconds. And you know, you put people in the passenger seats and you go into insane mode, and you go from 0 to 60 instantaneously, and it like knocks their dentures out. And there's a bunch of YouTube videos of owners of those cars like putting their family members in the car and like freaking them out. So I would get a Tesla probably. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, I say yeah. So thank you very much, Shreds with Wheat, for your very generous donation. Let's see. I'm just like going down sequentially here to so if I can actually like keep track of which questions I've answered. Here we go. Do you plan your meals in advance? Oh, you should look at the clock, man. Do you plan your meals in advance when you are shopping, or you just cook whatever you have on hand at the time? But occasionally, if there's like a recipe or a specific thing I want to make, then yes, I will say, what do I need or what do I not have from this recipe, and I will actively go out and get it. But otherwise, I pretty much stick to a pretty, very, very simple and basic selection because I know what I can make. Like, okay, I know I can take chicken thighs or chicken breast disease, and I can, chop it up and put it in a stir fry or in a rice thing or bake it and bread it. And I know I enjoy pasta and stuff, so I know to get pasta and certain pasta sauces. I know I can do Taco Tuesday last weekend, so I can get ground beef or ground turkey or whatever, and the mix, and I know what type of things I like on that. So I have a very limited but a very dependable personal menu that I kind of stick to, and when I run out of one item, I know to pick it up again because I know I'll be making this dish sometime soon. But only if there's like something special going on will I say, yes, let's pick up this. Because this recipe calls for this sort of mustard or a garlic thing that I don't normally use or whatever. But otherwise, even lunch, my lunches are always the same. I need bread, I need ham or turkey and cheese and tomato and lettuce and mayo and potato chips. Lay's potato chips are gluten-free, the plain kind. It gets a little bit more questionable when you get into the weird dustings of salt and pepper or vinegar or whatever. I don't like those anyway, so yeah, my lunches are very static. Breakfast I've been experimenting with, but then again, I'm still it's okay. It's either gluten-free bagels or gluten-free cereal or gluten-free oatmeal or stuff like that, or eggs. If I get really fancy, eggs or bacon. So it's I kind of have a pretty consistent grocery list that never really changes unless there's some specific out of the ordinary meal or recipe I want to try. So it keeps things simple, and then I know exactly where things are at. In the grocery store, and of course in the pantry and the refrigerator. Let's see here. Oh, here we go. Don't do this normally, but we can end off this episode of Heading East with a shout out. Adam wanted to give a shout out to Christine. The lovely couple is apparently getting married within a week or in a couple weeks, he said. So congratulations. Next week, he says. I don't know what that means, this week or next week, but congratulations. And yes, Adam shouts out to you, Christine. And then he asks, since you're a man of taste, that is up for debate. Since you're a man of taste, what are your go-to shoes? Well, my go-to shoes that I wear pretty much every day are the Converse Chuck Taylors. I have multiple pairs of the low tops and the high tops. So those are my go-to everyday shoes. If you're looking at like dress shoes, I particularly like, because they're a little bit more affordable and they have a lot of styles and stuff, is Allen Edmonds. A little bit more expensive than, say, the kind of dress shoes you might find, quote-unquote, at your department store or whatever. But, made in America and tried and tested. And Allen Edmonds shoes. But I don't dress up that often, so they don't get that much use. But otherwise, yeah, either the Chuck Taylors, the Converse, or if I know I'm going to be walking a lot, like at conventions or whatever, I will need something with a bit more support. So I have the New Balance, just the New Balance low tops are go-to. I'm sure some of you might have seen those in some pictures. They're bright green. My personal ones are bright green. Of course, I also have the red Converse as well to match this guy right there. But yeah, those are my go-to shoes. And what am I doing here? I'm making beds. I made too many beds at the end of the last episode. Oh, because I didn't use one. That's it. All right, so only 2 beds. Right here is what we'll make. And yeah, thank you everybody for your support on this crazy, diabolical plan that seems to be working. Because, like I said, we're up to 54%. Keep that going, and this will end as soon as possible. This was pretty much. Afterwards, I'm like, this is pretty much like the same exact thing as when like parents have screaming kids in the back seat, and they're like, "I will turn this car around." I will turn this car around if you guys don't behave. But no, this isn't malicious, but it is certainly it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's delicious. I'm just it's reinvigorated things here, and despite my internal compass being out of whack and crazy from it, I think I'm having a good time. I'm upbeat, feeling good about Far Lands or Bust and raising money for the children, as Brian said to begin the episode. Bryan said. So thank you, everybody. I will be continuing to answer all of these questions in future episodes, and keep donating at farlandsorbust.com. My name is Kurt. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you next time. Eyeball touching.